I recently played my worst ever tournament where I lost 176 points. In an effort to redeem myself and become a better player, I'm currently on my revenge arc in preparation for the 2024 US Open. This is the final episode of the revenge arc where I go over my results as well as cover how much time I spent training in preparation for the 2024 US Open. Be sure to stay tuned as I go over all the details as well as the results and ultimately conclude whether or not the revenge arc was a success.
All right, what's up guys? Muscle Pong here, and we're back in Seattle. Got back from Vegas. It was actually a really great experience. I'm hoping that they keep the US Open in Vegas just because there's like way more to do, and I feel like compared to Ontario, it was just a much better experience. So yeah, basically we concluded the revenge arc. We're successful, honestly. You know, at first when I played that tournament, I was very disappointed. There's like so many variables that would have been good reasons not to play the event, but part of me just loves playing ping pong, and I was just thinking like, okay, it'd be really fun. But it wasn't that fun that weekend, getting destroyed. With that being said, I am really happy I played, since I feel like in a sport such as ping pong or any endeavor where you're trying to improve at something skill-wise, sometimes you have to take one step backwards to go two steps forward. And I think in the case of the revenge arc, that's exactly what happened. We started at like 1774, dropped down to, okay, I don't have the numbers pulled up actually. Let me just check. Don't want to be giving false information here. Okay, so we started at 1774, which was our rating from June. And then we dropped down to 1598, so into the 1500s. We did a pit stop at Paddle Palace and got back up to 1631, and then after the US Open we were at 1766. So more or less where we were when we started. I do think that when I hit that 1774 rating, I was slightly overrated in the sense that even if I did train or play another tournament after that one, it would have been possible for me to like lose points. Whereas I feel like with the 1766 rating right now, it's a much more stable rating in my opinion, just because I'm much more consistent and I think my game's a lot better. At the end of the day, I know I stress the rating points a lot, and for me, it's a way to kind of make this more fun and competitive. But the truth is, the rating doesn't really matter. It kind of just comes down to how you play, since over time, the rating kind of balances out. So it's common for people to say like, oh, this guy was overrated or this guy was underrated, but at the same time, it just balances out. Like if a bunch of people are overrated, people are underrated, like then who's actually rated properly, right? So the only way you can tell is if you get a big enough sample size and play enough tournaments, and that's gonna be my plan moving forward. So I'm gonna recap the revenge arc, give you guys some numbers, and then give some reflections, and then talk about what exactly is next for me and this channel. So in terms of the revenge arc, we basically had like 3 weeks of training. In week 1, we trained 9.75 hours. In week 2, we trained 14 hours. And then in week 3, we trained 7.25 hours. So basically I can give the breakdown on the screen. The interesting part is most of this training was actually me training. It wasn't actually through lessons. You would assume that a lot of people when they're trying to train for something, they take a bunch of lessons. But as someone who has had multiple coaches in Vegas, I remember like one coach I was training like 3 to 5 times a week, and I wasn't really getting better. I've actually found that it's better to take 1 to 2 lessons per week and then implement things in your own training with a training partner. The biggest shift I've made in terms of how I approach training now is I'm way more intentional. I think when I hit the 1774 the first time, I would just play 2 to 3 times per week during the like open or just like drop in, right? I would just play with my friends, like maybe schedule some time with Gary, the left-hander, if you've seen some of the videos, but we would just play matches. Like maybe we'd do a few drills and then just play matches for the most part. However, this time around, I've been scheduling my training every single time, but each time we train, we try to do like a drill that works on a weakness. And I found that being much more intentional with your training really improves your development rapidly, just because you're gonna notice if you analyze your gameplay that there's gonna be certain leaks that are very prevalent throughout the matches. It doesn't matter who your opponent is. You could be playing like an inverted player, a long pips player, you might still have the same leak. You know, for me, a very obvious one is because when I was like a casual player, I just hit everything with my backhand. I like to cover the whole table using my backhand. Even to this day with my pips, like I'll step all the way over to the forehand side with my backhand, which is like incorrect. So that's something that I do in every single match, and something I'm trying to work on. And in this example, I should be practicing more transition drills, like 2-2, just random, essentially just focusing on using my forehand when it's on the right side of the table, and then using my backhand when it's on the left side, and not like stepping over too much. Figuring out my specific like weaknesses and then addressing them week by week has been like tremendously helpful. Another obvious one is like, you know, my pip side, right? I love just like pushing or like being very passive with it, and then just like opening up, being more aggressive. I feel like that in itself makes a difference, since if my opponent knows I'm pushing with my pip side, he can prepare his attack strategy based off, you know, that data. But if every once in a while I mix in like an open, even if it's like a quality open, it's gonna throw them off because they're gonna be expecting like a no spin underspin ball that's slower, and then an open ball is gonna be no spin or like maybe slightly top spin, and it's gonna be faster, right? So that's gonna throw off the pace. Basically in your own game, I would highly encourage you to try new things out, especially when you're playing practice matches or league matches, just because you never like realize how much of a difference it makes when you start changing things up. I never really thought like a shitty open would be like 10 times better than like pushing every time, right? So yeah, I think that was like the biggest difference in terms of training. And I think since I was documenting this journey on YouTube and like having people come up to me and support the journey, it really just motivated me to just try my best, put all my best effort forward and see where the cards fall, right? Since at the end of the day, you can't really control where your points are gonna fall. You can only control your input, which is like your training time, how intentional you are with your training, you know, maybe like recovery, but you can't really control who shows up that day. Or like, I know on the surface, it seems like I failed because I didn't get past 1774, but I actually feel like my ping pong is at an all-time best. And my game's like way more consistent. Just super happy how my journey's been going, as well as like the impact this series has had for me and for you guys, right? Like so many people came up to me during the US Open, and it's like pretty surreal since I'm just like a small YouTuber making videos in my room, just posting my practices or just posting my training and like lessons. And there's people out there resonating, so that really keeps me motivated to keep posting. And you know, even the comments, I know like there's a lot of comments and I do read all of them. I feel like I try to take what I can and implement it, but even just writing out those detailed comments, I know sometimes I don't respond, but like I do read each and every one of them, and it really means a lot that you guys are like taking the time to do that, right? So yeah, I think what's next? Well, the next series is gonna be Road to 2000. So we're gonna do a Road to 2000 series. Essentially the thing is I have like 6 months before I start my job. So I wanted to set a time frame in terms of like when I can hit 2000. And honestly, the number is not that important. I feel like we stress 2000 because I think that's like the spot where, in terms of not breaking that plateau, like I feel like getting to 1800 is pretty much doable for anyone. But getting from 1800 to 2000 is just like that sticking point that requires some like strategy or like extra effort to break through, right? So for me, I'm gonna try to hit 2000. Like whether or not I hit it, I have no idea. I can only control like how much I train and like how intentional I am with everything. But I want to set that goal just because I had a lot of fun with the Revenge Arc and I want to keep going, and I haven't started my job yet, so I have like a lot of time to play. I talked to Richard, as you're gonna see in the lesson. We're probably gonna do like Road to 2000 by Nationals, just because Nationals is in July, so I feel like that's like a very good tournament to try to play new players as opposed to just playing local tournaments here in, you know, Washington or even Paddle Palace in Oregon. So that's the goal. My buddy Matt, who's like the lefty like guy who I train with a lot, super cool. He's the one with the 5-digit USATT number, a lot of clout in the USATT realm, but he's the one that encouraged me to like maybe identify 3 improvement areas I want to really like tackle during this series. You know, shout out to Matt for that idea. Number 1 is going to be being more aggressive with my short pip side. It's very evident watching my US Open footage and just seeing all your guys' comments that I'm way too passive with the short pips. I'm not using short pips to its full potential because the whole purpose of short pips is to like be more aggressive with it since it's less spin sensitive. And yeah, number 1, I'm going to be more aggressive with my short pips and really work on that with my drills. Number 2 is going to be my serve receive. So I don't know if you guys have noticed yet, but serves to my forehand side of the table are so uncomfortable, and I give up a lot of points just because I'll step over or give like a shitty loop or like push it too high, misread it, or just like miss the ball or miss the table. So I'm gonna really double down and focus on my serve return, just because I feel like if I'm able to do that, then I'm not gonna like lose many points from the serve receive, right? So yeah, serve return, serve receive, that's gonna be like the second focal point. And then I think the third one is just gonna be my technique. So as you guys saw, like from my training footage, I can hit strong forehands, but I know I'm not using like the proper weight transfer. My footwork's not the best, and sometimes I like lean too far forward, sometimes I lean too hard back, oftentimes I loop backwards. So I think just like getting the mechanics down and really focusing on the fundamentals is gonna be really pivotal for me to hit 2000, because right now I feel like my game is very volatile. If I'm on, I feel like I don't miss anything. If I'm off, I can't hit anything on the table. So really just bring that range down between like my bad days and good days, and like shrinking it to like a more consistent medium is gonna be key for me. And to do that, I'm gonna have to focus on my footwork. Footwork, fundamentals, technique, that's basically focal point number 3. In terms of like the series, I actually thought about how I'm gonna like document it, just because the Revenge Arc was obviously like a lot of work for me to like keep up with the upload schedule. As you can see, it's already like January 17th today, and I just released like the last US Open vlog, and I'm actually pretty backlogged with the Road to 2000 series because we're like almost a month into it. My plan is gonna be, I'm gonna upload all my lessons, weekly lessons, because I think that's a lot of value for you guys. I'm going to upload my league play as well, because I feel like you see a lot of like different things I'm trying to implement, or I can walk through my thought process in terms of matches. So for me, that's pretty fun to like make those videos. And then in terms of the training, before I was uploading every training session, but that's gonna take way too long and it's unrealistic. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna upload, probably not weekly since I'm already so behind, so maybe bi-weekly updates of training, maybe just monthly, and like make it a longer video. Curious to hear what you guys think. Like, do you prefer I upload, like, let's say for the training, would you prefer like 2 30-minute videos or one like 45 to an hour video? Like, obviously I don't expect anyone to watch the whole thing, but you can like skip through it or like watch it at different times. I definitely won't be uploading like one off training session just because that's impossible for me to keep up with the upload schedule. But yeah, for sure, like the lesson in league and then the training either bi-weekly or monthly frequency. So let me know down in the comments what's better for you guys or what you prefer. And if you have ideas for any other type of content, also drop that down below since yeah, I'm like open to feedback. I have like a video filmed of me boosting my hurricane rubber, but to be honest, I don't even know if I boosted correctly. And I think with the tutorial stuff, like it could be helpful, but the truth is like I make these videos because I enjoy making them, and like I really want to just like document my journey in hopes of, actually no, not in hopes of, I feel like for me documenting this journey is like fun for me, and I kind of want to just have like some memories of me grinding at ping pong. I'm never gonna have this opportunity again, and hopefully like inspires you guys to just like exercise, right? Since at the end of the day, I feel like ping pong is great since there's like a competitive aspect, but the better part of ping pong is like it's just a great hobby to have since you not only exercise your body, but you exercise your brain, and then you get to meet a lot of cool people. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Road to 2000, it starts today, or already started like 3 weeks ago, but I start documenting it today, and we're gonna start pumping out the uploads. So be sure to subscribe if you're not already, and let me know down in the comments, down below if you guys want to see any other type of content. But yeah, just wanted to say really appreciate all the support, and I'm excited to continue the journey. Let's see if we can hit 2000, but at the very least, if we don't, we'll try our hardest.
ocean in my head, because there are so many things that I left unsaid. I can almost feel you walking in the distance, but I know that it's not reality. If you are echoing around inside these parallel dimensions all alone, now I'll find you in my dreams. My heart rages around like an ocean in my head.